Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Adam Rank interview on waxing lyrical remains in Dutch. We hope you enjoyed part 1. Here's part 2, where we discuss why Adam doesn't like people wearing shorts. Hope you enjoy.
Not only do I have a problem with people who wear shorts too much, I now have a problem with people who overly describe why they shouldn't be wearing shorts. You've been added to the list, Dutton. But here's the big thing, though, is this is probably an American thing. But for whatever reason, because now it's the off season here at the NFL and the NFL Network and everything. And so people will come in on their days off, or they'll be coming to work, before they change into their TV clothes or whatever. And everybody just feels compared to wear shorts. And I know there's one guy who does it all, like he's been off for a while and he had to come in for a meeting and he wore shorts. And I'm like, we get it. Okay. You're off. You're not technically here, but like put on some pants. It's still a place of business. Cover up. Like, I don't know if you think you work for Quicksilver or something, but it's like this is a pro. Like, you should at least wear jeans. At least, I mean, even then, I don't appreciate jeans at work either. But it's like, goodness, like, why do you think this is appropriate? Are people going to a dinner party? Like, I get, because I live near the beach in Southern California, and people will show up for dinner parties, and you're like, it's not the most comfortable thing, but it is still a dinner party. Technically, put on some pants. Like, it's not gonna, the extra fabric from your knees to your calves or ankles, it's not gonna kill you. And it just bugs me. I don't know if it's the breakdown of society or if I've officially ascended to that part of my life where I have to yell at the younger generation. But I just don't appreciate it.
See, it's obviously, it's March here. It's still technically winter, even though it pretends to be spring. And I was walking around on my dinner from work today, and there were people in shorts in England, which is always a mistake because it's cold. In Birkenhead, yeah.
Jesus.
It's cold, it's windy, but you're walking around in shorts. You must be a special person. That's all I can say.
It is a very big look at me move.
I don't understand it. It must have been like 4 degrees today.
The only thing is though is that on the same walk today, I saw someone who'd flipped it the other way. He was still wearing his pants, but he'd taken his t-shirt off.
Oh, for crying out loud!
Bare chest,
bare chest, yeah.
Where's he actually from? Siberia.
It was. I mean,
what'd you say? It was 4 degrees?
About that, yeah.
That's Celsius. So that'd be about 35.
I know what Celsius is. You don't have to tell me. I get that. Thank you. I understand that I'm talking to somebody. And that's the thing. That's another one of my pet peeves is I hate Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Like, it's perfect. Like 0, freezing, 100, boiling. Got it. I never. We wouldn't be able to. You can learn 32. That's warm. I know what the Fahrenheit. I know what the Celsius is that I want it to be. But it gets around 26. All right, cool. Anything like that. Like, it's not that hard a conversion. Just know that when it's 0, you're freezing. Like, how hard is that? Like, people are so reticent to that. Like, 32 makes no sense for that to be freezing. No sense. Who came up with it? Like, talk about that. It's such an American thing to do, too. Like, oh, no, I understand where it's totally logical that 0 is freezing, but we're America, goddammit. So 32 is freezing now. How about that? Deal with that, rest of the world.
And we are.
It's like the thing on a plane, though. Especially if you're going across the Atlantic, where it'll say, the temperature outside. I'm really not interested in what the temperature is outside the plane, as I've no intention of going out there.
Yeah, I'm good. Don't even bother telling me.
You're praying that it stays in the sky, Dalton.
I am the quintessential English guy. You're right.
I don't want that information just entering my consciousness because I never need to know that.
I mean, Yeah, I think I'm stealing this, but it's, as someone said, if I ever find myself outside of the plane, the first thought in my head is going to be, ooh, a bit nippy, isn't it?
Yeah,
I should have brought a jumper.
Yeah. I'll have all the things on my mind.
Definitely. Adam, we're reaching that time of the year. Springtime in the States can only mean one thing: baseball season.
Oh, yeah.
So my question for you is, first of all, are the Angels of Anaheim going to be better this year?
They're going to be better. They can't be much worse. They've been wildly disappointing over the last couple of years, but I really like what they've done this season. They've shored up the bullpen, added some extra arms that should help shorten games and be able to hold some of those leads that they were squandering over the last couple of years. Josh Hamilton will hopefully, build on what he did in the second half of last season. He doesn't have to go out and hit 40 home runs, but if he has a Josh Hamilton-like season, that'll be pretty good, especially if Albert Pujols can come back, stay healthy for an entire season, be a little bit of a force. I know he's going to want to prove himself. He's watched the Cardinals go on and have great success without him, and I hope there's a little bit of pride there, a little bit of a desire to want to earn some of that money that he is making. And I think he will. I hope he doesn't press too much. But if Albert's okay, Josh is okay, then this offense looks a lot better. Seen some impressive things in the spring already. Mike Trout looks like he's ready to go. Go ahead and give him $1 billion or whatever you want to pay him. But I'm optimistic. I know I shouldn't be. And I'm very much a pessimistic sports fan. But when it comes to the Angels, for whatever reason, I'm always the eternal optimist.
So, you've seen some spring training. You know the teams. Do you have a favourite for the World Series in 10 months' time? 6 months' time?
The Cardinals are always going to be in the mix for the National League. The Dodgers should be a little bit better this year too. And in the American League, it's a lot of the same teams from last year. Boston's still going to be very good. Detroit's got a good-looking team. Texas, they made a nice move. Them and Detroit made that blockbuster deal. So both those teams look to figure in the mix. Oakland's always good. I just hope that the Angels, but I'm confident the Angels are going to come out and be in that mix. So, of course, my ultimate goal would be a Angels Dodgers World Series. Not sure it's going to happen, but you know what? I'm still shooting for it. Actually, I liked it when it was the Angels and the Giants. So that was fun. It was still California, but you know what? It wasn't the Dodgers. It was the two teams the Dodger fans hate the most. So it was perfect, actually.
That sounds like my idea of hell. As someone who went to his first baseball game this September just gone, sorry, which was Yankees Giants.
September just gone, man. You're not a time traveller.
Sorry. Yeah, which was Yankees Giants, which I hate both those teams, and I have a history of hating both of those teams. And it was very strange
to watch
San Francisco batter the Yankees, funnily enough.
Okay.
So I actually got to see Alex Rodriguez's last juiced home run, obviously.
Perfect.
So Dutton and I have been invited to a fancy baseball league. We've never done fancy baseball before. So we're looking for tips. Adam, is there any ideas you can give us on what we should do?
I'm the worst when it comes to fantasy baseball, although I feel the league that my friend has put together is one of the most ridiculous ones ever. But my whole thing is go for Mike Trout because he's awesome. The biggest category that people always overlook are steals. A guy who hits 30 home runs or a guy who steals 30 bases is as valuable as a guy who hits 30 home runs. So don't ignore steals. I know it's an afterthought to a lot of people. And then don't overvalue saves too much. And everything else is cream cheese.
That's fine. Makes sense to me. On to food, Adam. Tacos.
Yes.
I
feel that what is it? Is there not an appreciation of tacos?
There is. it's just they seem to be much more prevalent in where you would live than where I would live.
I understand. That's the dilemma, though, is that you got to go out. Somebody's got to make a proper taco, and you can do the street tacos, you can do the hard shell tacos. I once was asked if I would rather give up tacos altogether for the rest of my life or have to eat a taco a day every day for the rest of my life. And I'm like, I'll take the taco. But that's the perfect food. And if you can switch it up and have fish tacos sometimes, or if you can have carnitas or whatever, I feel it's the perfect food. And it's one of those questions I always get, what's your favorite food or anything like that? Tacos. It's so good. And this Doritos, I don't know if you guys have Taco Bell out there.
No.
And because they make tacos out of Doritos, and they had a huge marketing campaign, and it was one of those things. And that's always the biggest problem, is that whenever you see something advertised, it's never going to be as good as they want you to believe. This was the first time in history where they undersold how good tacos were, and it was just simply amazing. A Dorito, I don't know if you guys have Doritos out there, but you make a shell.
We do.
You make a shell out of a Dorito, and as good as you think it would be, you're like, oh, it sounds pretty good. It's even better, and it's amazing because Taco Bell's terrible. Like, it's not a good place, and it's not. It just doesn't make any sense, you know. So you're like, how did you guys, of all people, come up with this? And if this would have been in the proper hands, would somebody else have done much better? But you know what? It's hard to perfect this thing because it's already perfect.
See, now it's making me yearn.
I know. I've been watching a few TV shows, food related, as secretly I'm a fat man. The truck concept, Adam.
Yes.
This is not in the UK. Can you explain it to our listeners in the UK?
It's out here. We had the roach coach, where everything's just kind of, made in a truck and served that way. And if you've ever been out in New York, they have the street meat, and they have those little bit of carts and everything that guys carry around, and they set up on a street corner, and everybody loves them. And if you're ever around Radio City Music Hall over there by 5th and 52nd, there's a fantastic one that's just so good, although you got to do it after 10 o'clock because the chef is much better. But being out here in California, we are such a car-driven culture that the little push cart didn't make sense. So instead, you had a truck that you could drive around, and it's about the size of an RV, of a recreational vehicle. And these high-end concepts, because the real estate prices are so expensive in California, and there's so much overhead and so much insurance and everything like that you got to buy, that it just made sense for these gourmet chefs to go to these food trucks, and then they just go and they plop around and they come to your, and it's great because you get a different choice every day. These different food trucks, like one day the lobster truck will pull up, and one day it's tacos, and one day it's pizza or hamburgers or anything like that, or Greek food. And it's, it gives you the variety, and yet you don't have to move. They drive to you, which is kind of a nice thing. Somebody out there in the UK, in the sound of my voice, realize you're sitting on a gold mine. Get one of these food trucks, start driving it around, and people will line up around the block.
Adam, I watched the show.
Starving.
Yeah, I watched the show yesterday, and that was exactly my thought. I need to buy a truck, and I need to start cooking, because this is a gold mine.
It really
Couldn't
is.
agree more. Couldn't agree more.
Where are we? Going through your well put together hit list here, Moons.
So,
People who bike riding, Adam.
Bike riding?
you said you wanted to talk about bike riding. Can I ask a question?
Okay, no, it's good. Wait, you want to ask me a question?
No, I'm going to ask Neil a question.
Okay.
When was the last time you rode a bike, Neil?
I refuse to answer that question on the grounds I may incriminate myself.
Okay. I'm saying 15 years for me. My question is to Adam, as you said, it's a car population in Los Angeles. I evolved from a bike to a car. That's how I just define it. When I passed my test, the bike got to be put to one side. Is there other bike riding in Los Angeles, or is everyone just in the car?
Now everybody's in a car. There's a few masochists who will go out and get behind a bicycle. They'll get road bikes or things like that. But fortunately for me, we live in a beach community which has a lot of local bars and pubs and restaurants and everything within a quick bike ride, and it's much more enjoyable. And now I've actually started a little bicycle gang in my neighborhood. And I don't know if you've ever seen the Sons of Anarchy show, but it's like that but wimpier. And we do have, we've got, we're starting to make a crest and everything like that. We're the Southside Gables crew, and it's it's a BC instead of an MC, it's a BC, and it's one of those things that it's like you said, when you're a little kid, you ride your bike everywhere, and then at some point you start driving a car, especially out here in California. But now I've discovered the joy again of riding a bike, and not one of those 10 speeds, and not one of those mountain bikes or anything with gear. It's like a proper beach cruiser, one speed, pedal stop type thing. Because that's the way to go, and that's the way to live. And you know what? Sometimes it seems like we've given up on the simpler things in life when we really shouldn't. And it's so much more enjoyable to do it that way, an easier mode of transportation. And if I could do that to work, to and fro work, I might dare to say that I'd be the happiest man in the world.
I would pay money, Adam, to see Dutton ride his bike to work. It would take him 4 days, but I would YouTube it, and it would be a million hit, definitely.
If Dutton ever makes his way out to Southern California, he's getting on a bicycle. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If he wants me to sign him into Disneyland or anything like that, he's got to get on a bicycle. Let's
get it done, Dutton.
I'll do it for the Disneyland, yeah.
Exactly.
I'm easily bribed.
Yeah, who isn't? Adam, you and Neil have taken fantasy to a new level, a golfing level. How are you and Neil doing in fantasy golf?
The agents of Neil, they're doing pretty well. I think he had a good weekend. I missed one of my guys not making the cut this weekend, and I left him in, which sucked because I had Rory dominating for most of the tournament, and then he kind of gave it away on the back nine on Sunday afternoon or Monday morning to you guys, and a little disappointing, but it's fun. I don't know. I'm trying to learn golfers. Truth be told, you never know when the Golf Channel is going to call and ask you to come try out or anything, so I want to know as many sports as possible in case that's ever a possibility. So this has been my foray into learning a little bit more about golf, but I like it. I hope Neil likes it, but I don't want to speak for him. Neil, what do you think so far?
Oh, I enjoy. I have started quite well, so that's always good. It's good to see that. I will be honest. The first few weeks it was just blind guesses. It was I've heard of him, I've heard of him, I've heard of him. Who? But a little bit more, now because it is quite comprehensive. The information that's there. Though at one point I had picked picked a player because I looked across and went, well, he's played 5, and there's a 5 there. What does MC mean?
Yes, Neil.
Quickly learned that it probably meant missed cut. So I didn't make that mistake again.
Nice.
It's filling a gap between until I can start mock drafting for NFL.
There you go.
So, do you actually play golf, Adam?
Yeah, I play a little bit of golf. I know a lot of people who, they'll go play 18 and everything like that. And I used to be that guy. I used to get a handicap and everything. But now I'm like, I like to play 9. I like to play about a par 30 or 32, something a little bit shorter. I have about an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of patience for golf. Then I just want to go drink in the clubhouse. So that's part of it. I like getting it in, getting it out of the way, and going for short holes where you can try to shoot for par. I like target golf. I like par 3s. People always act like they're wimpy, but they're hard because if you don't hit the green, you got to scramble to get up and down. Whereas if you're playing on the proper, par 4, par 5, it's easy to recover with the extra shots there. So I like that part of it. So, and guys, I hate to do this, but this is a special treat for me. But Devin Hester is in the house, and I got to go interview him right now. Is that a big league move to drop that on you guys right here?
That is perfectly fine, Adam.
It's a big league move, I understand. I don't like to be a name dropper. It's like something, Jack Youngblood once told me, never be a name dropper. But so I try not to do that, but I'm being summoned. There's somebody, it's not black tie, but it's somebody making those kind of motions, which I can't understand.
Well, Adam,
where there should be a watch. I don't know.
Adam, we would like to thank you for your time.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Let's make this happen again.
Yeah, we would be honoured that you could do that.
Yeah,
fantastic.
That would be
great. Please say hi to Devin for us, and let's hope he can get some returns for touchdowns this year for the Chicago Bears.
All right. Sounds wonderful.
Thank you, Adam.
Thanks very much,
All
Adam.
right, thanks. Hey, thanks so much. Appreciate you having me.
No problem.
Bye now.
All right, bye-bye.
See ya.
So, Dutton.
Hello.
While we're still here,
yeah.
Before we finish, Adam had two more things that I think we should look at.
I think we should, yeah.
That is, he wanted to ask the question, does the UK have hipsters? The question, first of all, is, what the heck's a hipster?
Yeah, that's a good one.
So, I went on Wikipedia, which obviously means it's true.
Must be true.
It said, hipster is a term popularly used to denote a contemporary subculture in North America, consisting of millennials living in urban areas. They broadly associated with indie and alternative music, a varied non-mainstream fashion, usually vintage or thrift store, progressive or independent views, organic foods, and alternative lifestyles.
Hippies.
Does this not mean, Dutton, that all hipsters are students?
You could argue that. I mean, hipster would seem to be the polite term, whereas I think we call them hippies.
Or prat.
Prat's a good one, yeah.
So we've got them, right? We totally got them.
Oh, God, yeah.
And
surrounded with, we come up against a wall of pretentiousness every time I leave the house.
We do, Neil. We do, Neil. We've got a few. So, Adam, in answer to your question, the UK does have hipsters. The last thing we were going to talk with Adam was his proposal for the Pro Bowl.
I think we leave that.
You're going to leave that?
Again.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I
so
really
what we'll do, Dutton,
want to hear this pitch.
Yeah, I do, yeah. I actually do too. Because I want to take it. So what we're going to do, Dutton, we're going to close the show.
Yep.
This has been episode 59 of Waxing Lyrical Mains and Duts. Thanks for downloading.